Hey, what's up, everybody? Want to come on here and talk to you about one of the greatest secrets, one of the greatest skills you can go to cultivate in order to become a more effective, persuasive communicator. Okay, and I'm also going to share my top 5 lessons that I've learned from day one, and also had a VIP experience from the Grow for God conference. So you're going to hear about communications, and you're going to get some great takeaways from the conference. What's up, everybody? Let me know where you're tuning in from. I think Instagram might be getting the better experience out of this one. I'm in the hotel in Nashville, Tennessee at the Grow for God conference, and it's been an interesting experience for me. What's up, TEDx? Um, and one of the reasons why it's been an interesting experience is because I'm not speaking at this conference. And um, it was kind of weird because people were expecting me to speak. And I'm just like, they're like, "Oh, why aren't you speaking? Why aren't you speaking?" I'm like, "I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn." Like, and it's true. It like actually feels good not to feel like I gotta be running my message through my head and doing all the things that I do to stay aligned and prepped and make sure I don't get distracted or pulled. And I just get to be and listen and hear and learn and connect and network and all that good stuff. So it's actually been amazing. and the other thing that's coming up is I decided that I was going to leave on Saturday because my homie Pete Vargas and Grant Cardone. Well, Pete Vargas is really the homie, but Grant, I've met him a couple times. Uh, but they're hosting a speaking competition, Speak Off, and I decided I was going to participate because it was in Atlanta. And I was like, man, I can't talk all of this game about helping speakers and being a great speaker and not actually participate when it's in my backyard. And I know the homie, it's like shoot your shot, bro. And so I'm in one realm, like learning, listening, receiving from all the juicy nuggets at the Grow for God conference. And then on another end, I'm like freaking out because I'm kind of like prepare my message because it's like 2 rounds. I think it's a round advancement. So like you get 1 minute for the first round. And then if you do good and make it at the top of that round, you get 2 minutes. And so I'm like, man, that's a lot of thought. It's a lot harder to create a shorter message than it is to do a long one. And sometimes when you're starting out, it's you can think of it as being the opposite. Like a lot of times we think that, man, how do I feel an hour of time or 90 minutes of time? Like that's a lot of time. What if I run out of things to say? Or what if I lose my train of thought? Like all of this. But it's actually far harder to do like 1 minute or 2 minute because you don't have time to like if you run off in an hour speech, you can like catch up, make up for ground. It's like the difference between playing like 4 quarters in a game and like first shot wins. Like it's challenging. So you gotta like make that shot. And so that's one of the things. Is some of my eye or is that the light? So I can't tell. What do you think? Something in my eye? Probably something in my eye. Oh, that hurt. That was an eyelash. Ow. Just put my eyelash out. So, anyways, where was I going with that? Oh, so I'm like I was partially struggling with presence because part of me was there receiving at the conference, and the other part was like thinking about my speech on Saturday and knowing I need to prepare and all these things, and it's like when one side of your brain or part of your brain is learning, the other side's trying to create. Like there's so much about like you can't do that. But I don't want to be unprepared. But I also know I'm a boss, and that I have a skill set, and like it's not that I'm freaking out for no reason, and this is what I do. It's like I can do this. I've done this before. So here's the tip. Okay, here's the secret. Here's the secret. The secret to great communication, the secret to effective, persuasive, powerful communication. Okay, I want you to write this down. The best speakers are the greatest listeners. The best speakers, let me say it the other way around. The greatest speakers, the greatest communicators are the best listeners. The greatest communicators, the most effective communicators, the most persuasive communicators are The best listeners. This might make you mad because a lot of people, when they teach speakers, they teach them how to speak, mechanics, your voice, your body language, your story structure, which is important, your demeanor, your wardrobe, your eye contact, your PowerPoint slides. But they don't teach listening. And listening is a skill that we can cultivate. It is a tool that we have. You probably heard it said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. The reason why listening is the secret and one of the most powerful tools to become a better communicator is because the best communication, write this down, the best communication is a dialogue, not a monologue. And if you really want to get advanced and get down, can I tell you that you can have a dialogue without the audience even speaking back to you, in a way, verbally speaking back to you? Something to think about. The best speakers, the greatest speakers, are the best listeners. So, as I'm here at the conference, one of the things that I was attempting to do is to think about what I want to say instead of listening. There you go. To what there is for me to say. So I'm sitting there listening to all of these speakers. I'm listening to the feedback, the interaction. I'm listening to the downloads that I'm getting and I'm receiving. And as I'm listening, ideas for what I would say, passions, insights for what I would say start to be birthed. Start to be birthed. Because I'm listening to their interaction. I'm listening to the things that they're saying. I'm listening because I don't want to say what everyone else is saying. What's the point of me saying anything at all? And I'm all for quoting people and all that stuff. And I'm a speaker, so I tell people all the time when I hear great quotes and great one-liners and great concepts and thought models and philosophies, I will quote you twice and steal from you the rest of my it doesn't matter. People do it to me. Like, if you're a communicator or speaker, you know you do that. You're like, ooh, that was good. And next thing you know, like that's your thing for like the next 3 months or years if it really resonated. Then it's fine. So, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about listening for the sake of seeing what I can borrow, what one-liners that I can steal. That's not, and I don't like the word steal. I just want to say use, leverage, share, right? Because it's not like anybody's to belong unless you're like taking intellectual property and stuff. That's weird. But these messages are meant to be passed on, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about listening so I can do that. I'm talking about listening so that I can see what else is there that I can add to this brilliance that's going on around the planet. And I don't know, it's always been my philosophy. It's one of the reasons why I originally struggled to step into the speaking industry because I wanted to make sure that I had something actually to say. I wanted to make sure that what I said wasn't just a regurgitation of what everyone else is saying. And I get that some principles are timeless, some things won't change. And I get that we're all going to say the top universal principles. Like, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel either, but I just believe that each one of us has a unique message. Okay. And it's challenging to find that voice. It's difficult sometimes to feel into what's unique and authentic about what you have to say. But one of the ways you do that is by listening deeply, not just to other communicators and great leaders, but listening to ultimately God. Okay. But here's the thing, sometimes God does speak through people in circumstances. So when you're listening, you're not just listening to the words that are coming from other people, you're listening to God's voice to you through other people. You're listening to God's voice to you through circumstances. And then you're listening to your inner voice within. Okay, so top 5 takeaways from the Grow for God conference. You ready for them? You ready for them? Top 5. Number 1, sustenance over substance. The homie Tamra Andress ripped it, came out with the glitter glam, the umbrella, the music. This girl was ripping it. I was like, let's go, Tamra. Remember, I told you the goal in becoming the path to becoming a world-class speaker. The path to becoming a world-class speaker is not to be someone you're not. It is to be all of who you are. That is the path. Every great communication book, read it. Everyone says the same thing. The number 1 tip is to be yourself. But yet we get up there in front of people and we're everybody but ourselves. Robot, notes, paper, my tight outfit. Just like, what do I wear? What do I and like, we don't actually just be ourselves. But if you talk to us in an environment where we're not feeling like we have to be someone else other than ourselves, we're brilliant, we're amazing. That's why I tell people, like, however you are in conversation, like when you talk about the things you're actually passionate about, is how you should be on stage. Stop being weird. Daryl, I know. I had to tell myself that. And I get that. And we all have that tendency sometimes. I'll watch some of my videos. I'm like, dude, why am I being weird? Or my wife would be like, you're in pattern. But here's the thing. Be who you are. So Tamra Andress came out with the umbrella, the glitter glam. I lost my train of thought for a second. I'm back. Sustenance over success. Okay. Worried about, focused on creating sustenance versus chasing this never-ending ascent to success. Superbar. Kevin Mullins, Kings Think Differently. If money were evil, the devil would have doubled your income by now. Definitely stealing it. Definitely stealing it. It was a bar. I was like, ooh, yes, because people think money is evil, and therefore we repel things that could come to us and through us. Okay. And it was a good overall speech. A lot of nuggets in that one. Glenn Lundy, build your business around your lifestyle and never the other way around. Build your business around your lifestyle, never the other way around. And the story behind that was so powerful from him. But it was like, think about the lifestyle, the values you have, put those first within how you want to operate. That he specifically mentioned the time he wants to spend with his family, the amount he wants to travel per year, the culture he wants to create for his employees, and then build a business around that lifestyle, not the other way around. Because if you do it the other way around, the business will always prioritize over the lifestyle that you desire. And so it was a great share. He jam-packed 20 minutes of straight fire information. Hope Carpenter, this is one of those things that is better caught than taught, I guess. Meaning that how she facilitated her presentation was, for me, more powerful than even everything she was saying. And what she was saying was super dope and super powerful. She talked about running your race and not comparing yourself to other people and doing the deep inner healing work that's necessary for you to be all of who you are. And it was a very vulnerable share. I mean, like, so transparent. She's super hilarious, dude. I was cracking up the entire time. I'm like, this woman of God is a trip. She is a trip. She is not playing. She's not sugarcoating. She's not trying to impress y'all. She don't care what y'all think about her. She is just letting it rip. And I was like, let's go, Hope Carpenter. And I had a great conversation with her afterwards about it. Man, so much goodness. If you haven't read her book or her story, you got to hear it. It was really rich, really rich. What's up, Dr. Michelle? And then the last one is generosity. So we have sustenance over success. Kings think differently. If money were evil, the devil would have doubled your income by now. We have build your lifestyle or build your business around your lifestyle, never the other way around. And then we have vulnerability from Pastor Hope Carpenter, which was better modeled than it was taught, because her talk was on Run Your Race. And then the last one, yeah, she was on fire. She was. And then the last one was generosity. Generosity. Okay. Generosity was displayed multiple times throughout the conference. It's one of the things I pay attention to. I listen to what's being said, but I also pay attention to how people are moving, what people are doing, how they're interacting, the different things that people are giving away, and how they're connecting with other people. Just like looking at the magic of the behind the scenes, while also, and that's one of the benefits of, by the way, of being like at VIP type of experiences with any conference, is that you get to see it from two different layers, from multiple layers, really, and feel into more things. And so, um, definitely just could feel the generosity of everybody. Everybody is super generous in this community, in this circle. Everybody that I've connected with, at least, and there's still many more people that I plan to connect with today. Okay, so those are my top 5 takeaways, and then the number one secret in being a great communicator: remember to listen. Watch this. Remember to listen twice as much as you speak. You have two ears. See, that was confusing. This is two. I should have said listen twice as much as you speak. There we go. Listen twice as much as you speak. I feel like I'm talking to like third graders right now. Not to say that's y'all intellect level, but it helps. Doesn't that help? It helps. It helps. It makes sense. Like, okay, yeah. Am I listening twice as much as I'm speaking? Okay, Daryl. That's why I'm like, comment in the comments. That is the secret, y'all. That is the secret. How can you hear what there is for you to say if you cannot listen to what others are saying? Okay. And one of the best ways to think about this is, you ever have a really good conversation with somebody? You ever have a lot of great things to say in that conversation? Did a lot of those great things come because you were listening to what the other person had to say? Probably. And it was like one of those conversations where you're like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's why it's hard for me to talk and not preach. And I were just talking about this last night. See, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. So listen twice as much as you speak. Okay. And you'll begin to hear people's fears, hear their pushback, hear their doubts, hear in their language. Scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you get to hear what's really in people's heart, which allows you to speak to their heart. But how can you speak to that which you are not listening to first? People don't care how much you know. John Maxwell said this, so they know how much you care. How do people know you care if you don't listen? This is one of those things that is commonly known, but it is not commonly practiced. So if you're going to commonly practice, put in the chat, practice. Allen Iverson, practice, man. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the clip. Search Allen Iverson practice and you'll get it. Practice. Okay. Listen to understand, don't listen to respond. Yes and yes. And no. No, I agree with the principle, but I'm also saying that we should listen so we can figure out what there is for us to say. So it's not necessarily so you can respond, but it is so you can talk. I don't want to just gather information, because knowledge alone puffs up. So I am listening. But that is a great principle. When I'm talking with my wife and trying not to get in an argument, I always tell myself, listen to understand. You're not listening to respond, because if I'm listening to respond, I'm trying to respond while listening, and I'm not really listening at all. Listen to understand first, then respond when appropriate. Yes, there we go. There we go. And I get it. I agree with you. I just had to unpack that a little bit. Yes. Okay. Let me jump off, y'all. I'll see the rest of you at the conference who are here in person. If you're not, make sure you grab the replays if they're available for sale. I don't know if they are. And listen twice as much as you speak. And remember the lessons that I shared from the Grow for God conference. Anytime you get a lot of information and you do not apply, information without application is going to lead to frustration in your life. You're going to leave and try to preach to people who your life should be preaching to. So one of the reasons why I've been up early this morning and why I didn't go hang out with a bunch of people last night is because I was integrating what I learned into my life, thinking more deeply about the concepts, starting to outline. So I can say sustenance over success, and I can sit down and write what greater levels of sustenance will look like in my life. Okay, you see the difference? I can say kings think differently, talk about bigger dreams. If the money were evil, the devil would have doubled in my income right by now. Or I can think about what I would do with double my income. And I would start to write down and envision 10 times my income. Why not? Right? Why not? That is what the application looks like, so that I'm not like, oh, all this good stuff I learned, da 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 da. And then I'm like, yeah, how does your life actually change because of what you've heard? Because it won't change because you heard it. It will change because you implemented it. Okay, that was not the right beat. See, I need to wake up. All right, I gotta go. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.